Man, listen, this free game back again. TIM, what's up?
Peace to the divine family, man. It's the God.
Melrose Mayor, what's cracking?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's good?
Happening, man? What's chatting? What y'all boys got for y'all ministers today?
Today we're gonna talk about the school system. The school system. There you do.
I ain't been in school in about 50 years.
I ain't been in 20. Some of the rules that's been implemented in the school system.
Yo, what's up, Drake? What's happening, Rockstar Drill?
I really want some of these people to check in. I want to know how they feel about this zero tolerance fighting policy they got.
School policies.
Well, if that was the case, I wouldn't have made it past elementary.
And
Keeping it on.
and some of it is zero tolerance arguing.
Wow.
Is what?
Zero tolerance arguing.
So
What you mean when you say
You arguing,
you out of the
you could get suspended. You fighting, they sending you to alternative school.
zero tolerance for arguing?
Zero tolerance.
How you know somebody arguing?
They arrested you in middle school for some of the same stuff. In high school, like fighting.
right.
They'll charge you, they'll send you to alternative school.
For arguing.
That's wild.
I'm saying like for that's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, for arguing.
You ain't supposed to argue, you're not supposed to fight. Now we don't have all the answers. Like I said, we don't have all the answers, so disclaimers. Some of the things I'm hearing in the school system. Fighting, arguing. Strict policy. What's your thoughts?
You want go?
Either one of y'all.
Oh, man, you can go ahead and do that.
I get it. You don't want to. It's supposed to be a controlled environment, and I get all that.
That's what I mean. You gotta wait until-
But I agree, but I don't agree, and I can say that because like I said, I agree as far as it's supposed to be ran a certain way. You want kids to have a good education, no violence. I get that, you know what I'm saying. But also, the part I don't agree with is like you'll send a child to alternative school now if they get into a fight, even if it's self-defense. But it's like they teach different policy in school, but the real world ain't like that.
So what constitutes self-defense though? Like people keep, I don't know.
To me, like I'm speaking from experience. Like anybody went to school with me, like from 3rd to 12th grade, I ain't like spent from school till I got to 12th grade for fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, but self-defense is, I feel like it's always. I don't feel like you should ever get punished for self-defense. I don't care where you at. That's just a personal opinion of mine. Like, because I don't feel like there's no place where you shouldn't be able to defend yourself.
So like Tim just saying, what do you constitute for you? I'm saying you personally, then I'm gonna go Tim. What do you constitute as self-defense?
Somebody a threat to you, anybody that imposes bodily harm to you. I don't mean an argument or what somebody said. That's a stretch. It depends on what you say. Like I done follow plenty of people say you gonna, well wait, I'm gonna do something to you. Like that's a threat. You know what I mean? So I guess it depends on what someone says, but physically, I really mean physically, somebody touch you, or in the act of getting ready to touch you, or like bringing that kind of energy towards you. I don't think words always justify that, but also you know what I'm saying. You got to take the words serious too. Like threats are threats. You know what I'm saying? Like it have been for me. I already like if I feel like you're finna do some harm to me, or you give me the idea that you're doing the harm to me, I'm going off her.
Man, you supposed to be. Yeah, go ahead, my boy.
You know what I mean? So that's just to me. But you know what I'm saying? I agree, but I don't agree because it's kind of like it's also crippling them too. You know, there's nothing wrong with teaching your child self-defense. Just as long as your child ain't you know what I'm saying, doing violence or bullying nobody, I ain't got no problem with it. But you know what I'm saying? I'm different. I teach mine the same way I raised. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If
you doing that?
If you about self-defense in that sense, like you say, not bullying and all that. Bullying don't be kind of like a normal thing. it's like a lifestyle now. People that you don't think be bullying people is actually bullying folks now.
Yeah, and that's
You got different types too.
Yeah, you got different types of
Cyberbullying, they bully over.
Yeah.
text message bullying.
It's
you can be-
all that.
Yeah, so
Picking on somebody. But that's why I say, like, so when you don't teach self-defense, to me, you kind of, it's like you almost welcome bullying. Because the people that get bullied is the one that don't take up for themselves. When you don't have self-defense, majority of those are the ones that get bullied. You think about it, have you ever seen somebody get bullied that stand up for themselves? It don't happen. I ain't never got bullied, because I ain't going for it. Anybody that stand on their own ground, you ain't gonna bully them, whether they win, lose, or draw. You know what I mean? Self-defense is, I feel like that's needed in any area of life, school, wherever. Because I mean, real life, and I think we need to teach our kids that. Now, of course, in the curriculum, they ain't gonna teach them that. That's the biggest, to me, that's the biggest question. Why would you teach them that? But we live in a country where you can go to war for that every day. You got the military.
You live in a country that's so good.
Yeah, so I'm saying, so like, you telling your kids to say, hey,
What are you talking about?
hey, little Tyson Jr., like, hey, man, don't defend yourself. Tell the teacher. That's what they teach you. You know what I'm saying?
But see, that's where
Yeah.
let me chime in a little bit. That's where the disconnect is between the parents and the school system.
Yep.
Cause we teaching our kids to not allow someone to inflict any type of harm to us. We teaching our kids to defend ourselves. We
Right.
teaching our kids if somebody hit you, you hit them back.
Right.
We teaching our kids, okay, if you have a problem, let the teacher know, because you may be put in a position to where you will have to defend yourself.
Right.
But the policy is no fighting.
Right.
You know, I had a situation with my daughter. She got into a fight. We had to go to the board of education. They claimed it self-defense, but the school didn't. I don't think the school did their due diligence before we went to the board of education.
Right.
You had a child. She was impeding the teacher's progress to teach the class. Now, this is a child she's been a problem. So basically it's escalating to this. So the child
My boy,
kept approaching my daughter's desk. This is on the video. Alright, now, chill out. She kept approaching the desk. They tried to hold her. They went and called the principal. It took the principal like 30 minutes to get to the classroom. By the time the principal got to the classroom, the fight had went down already. So they sent my child home and say, we gonna send her to alternative school.
Right.
But you got time to go before the board or whatever. So we went before the board. The board, they reached a verdict of self-defense. But I felt like
They could have handled it.
what the school was, they was like point blank period, you got into a fight. So that's the only argument they had. The policy says no fighting, you got into a fight, so we want to send you to alternative school.
See, that's the thing though about policy. Like policy can always be adjusted, and they in the school system, they can adjust it to fit whatever they want to fit.
Yep.
So if you ain't coming and checking the trap and seeing what's going on, they can always use these policies and knock you off your day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for instance, if my little homeboy, his little situation where he was backing away from a fight. Like he was saying, "Come on, bro, I ain't fighting you in school."
Yeah.
You feel me? But somebody kept on approaching him like, "What else he supposed to do? Like, what you want to do? Bust out, man?" What you asking him? The policy says no fighting. So he telling you, bro, we ain't doing this.
Yeah. And you steady pushing.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody gonna keep walking up. How far you supposed to go? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
If somebody gonna keep coming, somebody gonna keep progressing towards you, how long? You know what I'm saying? How long you have to go before you decide to, enough's enough. And then somebody actually touched him.
Yep.
So now that somebody done touched him, and he still said, I ain't gonna fight you. And now that he touched you, I guess that built his confidence up from a touch to a punch. And so
Right.
from the punch, that's just called the whole fight to jump off. Yeah.
So this child was basically provoked and had no other choice but to defend himself.
No choice. But then he got sent to alternative school, and And the fact that he had already been to the alternative school before, and he fought. Now I know this kid, you know what I'm saying, very well. So he fought hard to get out of the alternative school, just to get back into it. I was there through the whole process, making sure he was doing what he needed to do, you know, and all that. So for him to go back to the school, doing pretty good at the school, and then, you know, of course, you always got somebody like Cat Williams said, if you ain't got no haters, you need to try to find something. So it's always gonna be somebody that don't like you.
Yeah, you know,
You
you're
feel me?
right.
Ain't nowhere in the world you gonna sit on this talk and tell me that everybody got Austin like none of us in here. You know what I'm saying? There's somebody about Austin
I don't like it.
don't like you. Like they really don't like you. So at what point when you in a situation like that, like what you supposed to do? You feel me? Like you just gonna run until what? Like how long? See, the thing about it is now it's different because now when they get home, like ain't no more fighting. Yeah, so you get home and you got access to other things. You feel me? You got that fire.
And that's why you supposed to nip it in the bud right then and there.
Yeah, ain't no more fighting when you make it to the house. So what happens when you got this young man say, hey man, I ain't trying to fight you in school. I'm gonna chill. You feel me? Like, y'all let me at the house. You feel me?
Yeah.
And then you go home and there ain't no more fighting outside.
Not the escalator or something.
No.
Yeah, not everybody, you know, straight with the gunplay.
And another thing is, like, to me, I get, and a lot of parents probably gonna say this, and I'm saying, I get the school system thing, but you gotta ask yourself, to me, like, what's more important? I'm not saying education ain't important, but you gotta also look at the picture that you painted for your child. Like, see me, I look at it from a realistic standpoint. It's bigger than education. Like, I had a situation with my son not too long ago, you know what I'm saying? He hit a boy in the mouth, you know what I'm saying? Like, but my thing is, like, it's not, I get you tell the teacher, I get all that. But like, school is only for a couple hours. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to teach my son, I feel like we should teach our kids that it's about surviving, period. Like, these morals and these lessons go with you the rest of your life. Yeah, you can tell the teacher, you know what I'm saying? But you got other kids you got kids getting stumped and getting killed in school now because they won't fight back. Like, a teacher can't always save you. Like, I'm just teaching my son that you're responsible for your safety first, more for anybody. Besides God, you're responsible for your safety, not no teacher. Because I feel like when you put everything on telling the teacher, that's cool, I get that. But what do you do in the instant when the teacher ain't there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I forgot where it was. It might have been in Chicago or Dallas where the girl didn't want to fight these girls back, and they stuck on her in the bathroom and they killed her. You see what I'm saying? Like, teaching your child, because I teach my child self-defense for the simple fact is, you don't ever put your livelihood in nobody else's hand. That's, to me, I never thought that was smart. How I was raised, I'm gonna take care of myself first. I ain't relying on no police, no teacher, no nothing. Now, if that come later, they do. But I'm gonna make sure I go home the same way I came. I don't care where I'm at. To me, that's just about surviving. Now, the people that don't think like that, either you live in a bubble or you don't live in them kind of situations. You don't come from that kind of world. But it's kids that get jumped on and get hurt every day. And it's not about everything I'm not saying everything is handled with violence. But I believe I fight fire with fire. I teach my son some stuff it ain't even worth it. But when someone put their hands on you, all that's out the window. That's how I teach my son. I don't care where you at. When somebody put their hands on you, you got the green light, make sure they don't put their hands on you no more. I don't care if you're in church, school, wherever you at, you make sure it stop right there. Because like, you don't always have backup. I can't always go to the school and let me talk to the other kid parent. Like, I teach my son survival. Like, I feel like there's nothing wrong with teaching your child how to survive in life, not just school, anywhere they at. Or, because if you don't, you're gonna be one of two things. You can either stand up for yourself or you're gonna be a victim. It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? Like, so self-defense is nothing. I mean, we live in a country I don't understand that. We go to war all the time. So you telling me you can tell adults to do all this fight for the country, but when it comes to your child, you should just lay down and let your child get trampled on or hurt because they're at school. So you go to school every day you can't walk in Tyson Jr. shoes. I don't care how much you love him. He got to walk his own path at some point in life. You can't walk it for him. I'm trying to get my son prepared to be able to stand on your own too. Because I may not always be there to save you. No teacher may not always be there to get that ball off you. Whatever the case may be, teach your child to defend themselves at all times. There's nothing wrong with that. But they want to teach you that because like that don't help you, that hurt you. Like the bully, if I tell somebody how to fight the bully back, that don't help the child getting beat the hell up. That help the bully. No, I'm gonna teach my child, you stop the bully from stopping you, but you gotta fight him back. What you gonna run? He said you can run forever. Sooner or later you still gotta face him. You gotta face him at some point.
That's right.
So I don't believe in that, and I can say that because for me personally, like anybody know me, like you know what I'm saying, like I stayed in there. I was in the STAR program. I didn't care. I mean, one year I missed like 37 days of school for fighting. Like
37 days.
you're not gonna put your hands on me, bro. But you know what I'm saying? Like now in this generation, like cause I wouldn't even made it to middle school. But I didn't never get in trouble at home. Because end of the day, it was always I never bothered nobody. You put your hands on me, it's gonna be a problem. So now, even though I know that sound like that's a bad idea, but as an adult, I don't have no problem. I don't worry about nobody bothering me. Right. So like to me, my parents were saying, it's bigger than school. I can take care of myself no matter what. I ain't never had to call nobody to protect me. That's the whole principle of it. Like you gotta stand on your own too.
Yes, sir.
Alright, so of course we definitely want to keep the schools clean, and we want teachers to be able to teach.
Right.
Got a question for you though, Tim. Is alternative school the answer to the problems? Because that's what they quick to do in this situation, every situation in terms of a fight or whatever, any type of altercation. No matter the student can have a good history, haven't been in trouble before in some situations, don't have a record, it's not a problem kid, but they got into that fight.
Right.
We ship them off to alternative school. You feel like that's the answer?
It can't possibly. It's a good alternative, you feel me? But it is, I don't know if it's ran, I don't know how they run that, you feel
Right.
me? It's a good alternative, like, for instance, if you got, because at least, you know, if you go over there, from what I understand, you go over there, you just have to keep working, you're on the computer all day, and you ain't got no teachers or nothing like that, you just rocking out. But if you got intentions of making it out of the school, you can, you know, instead of back in the day, like, I don't think we had alternative school when I was legit. I don't remember that, but
yeah, we did.
When you got kicked out, it was over with. You know what I mean? So, it's a good alternative, but at the same time, the way that is used, I feel like we've been talking, and the doc and all have been talking like it's that school to prison pipeline, like it's teaching you how to live in a penitentiary. You know what I mean? Just like the fact that when these children, like we were saying earlier about not being able to talk and how the cafeterias ran, like you got to shut up and no just eat and no say nothing. So now the whole school really is like, you know what I mean, running like the chain gang. Nah, I get.
Yep.
So
yeah, my son told me he only talk at recess.
It's
crazy.
He's 8 years old.
It's a crazy alternative for what we be seeing as what we see our children going through. So the question is now, why do we keep sending our children to these institutions? If people look at it like, if you go outside and stand in front of the school and look at the schools from the front view, like it look like a penitentiary. Y'all probably ain't never paid attention to that. Just go out and stand in front of the school and look at it. And then you go out there across the state and look at it. It's the same thing, like it's the, you know what I mean? So nah, man, I know it seems like to me it's more. I think everybody, you know, when they had that little active shooting situation at the school that time, and the men, people jumping across the gate and all that, trying to get to the kids. And we felt like our children weren't safe enough. You know what I'm saying? We felt like that our children was we felt like they could have been better off with us than they would have been in the school.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to, when you look at, like, is our children really safe out there? Because now you got to make sure that you mentally preparing for things like that.
Yep.
You got to make sure that you mentally prepare for that type of illness. You got to also think about their physical well-being.
Yep.
Well, we know what happened at the school across town.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. So you got to worry about the mental aspect, the physical aspect. Like, you don't know, like, no matter how much we try to say, like, yeah, I feel like my children safe at the school, you know, stuff gonna happen no matter where they at. But every day, like, you just seeing different stuff, and then you got these people with these zero tolerance rules and regulations that they coming across with. All these policies that they got saying, oh, my children, you know, one time, that's it. We ain't playing with y'all.
It's like a way to just get them out of there. That's what you said.
Ain't
That what it sound like.
no more massaging the mental to be. It's now straight to the hole.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When you go to the hole, the next part is, you know, even though the hole is another part of the jail, it's still in jail.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So now alternative school is like the hole.
But you on your own.
You don't
You
know
that
in
good.
the hole. It's solitary. That's what it's called.
Mhm.
Solitary confinement. So it's the hole. So when you go over there, it's like you in the hole. Like ain't no more instructions. None of that. You in there by yourself. You doing whatever you do. Only thing is that you got to be there.
And there's no, like you said, no massaging. Like, we don't know what type of things these kids may have going on at the house.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
I don't think they care. These.
They don't. They can't possibly care. You may be going through something at home, frustrated with your household, struggling, mind on something else,
Totally agree. You know what I mean?
and you go to school and get into something. That one mistake or that one incident you through.
Yep.
Now you in alternative school. Sometimes they may charge you with finance school. Now you in the system.
Yep. And you out of school.
Then you in alternative school. Well, you ain't learning nothing there because they don't teach you. It's just you and the computer. You on your own.
Yep.
So now what's your mindset when it comes to school?
Yeah.
I don't need school.
Yeah, like.
So if you ain't going to school for no 7-8 hours, what you doing out here in this world? You in the streets.
Yep. And then now.
And if you can't be in school, you definitely ain't working.
Yep.
You old enough to work.
So you finna get into something.
You on your way to becoming a statistic.
Yeah, unless you one out of a million that may find another outlet or
It's
something.
always, it's
but
always an exception. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be an exception to the rule.
yeah.
That's how you gotta make the rules. So somebody always gonna be the exception.
But they ain't many of them.
Some of y'all cat that made it out without no F's on y'all report cards. You feel me? But the rest of us, we got F's on our report cards. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in order for me and you to grow up in Hudson Dock,
Yep.
and you know, you came out pretty clean. I came out with some scars.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Somebody gonna end up coming out there with some else on the report card, and that's how you validate that. That's the only way you gonna make that rule valid. Oh, look at Toddy, he made it out. Look at Big Mark Sermons. He stayed in the project all his life. He made it out. Yeah, but that's 2 people.
Out of how many failed?
Look at all the rest. You feel me?
Yeah.
So you gonna tell me how the 2 people made it out of the 50?
It's lopsided.
What that percentage is?
Yeah, what's that percentage now? What's the likelihood of every single person making it?
Is the
That's
ratio
highly unlikely. You know what I'm saying?
very negative? Very negative.
Yeah. So if you add up all the exceptions, and it ain't y'all fault that y'all be having to be exceptions. You feel me? Y'all just had a little more drive. Y'all said, okay, I'm gonna turn the other cheek.
And you don't realize it till you actually get over there and make it out.
So y'all feel like it's more emphasis on zero tolerance than education right now?
I don't
It's
think.
definitely
Yeah.
just like my uncle said earlier. She said alternative school is not an answer, but it can be part of the solution.
Right.
But attending alternative school requires a different type of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, the system is set up for failure as it stands.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you go to alternative school and you got to make sure that all this stuff, it's like being in college online.
What's the graduation rate? I know it. I'm the few people, I don't say no name, the few people I know went to alternative school never finished.
Never
Half on
finished.
dropped out.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point of the conversation. The few people that went to alternative school, they didn't finish.
It's just like working online. You feel me? At college and going like you went to school with your majority of your school online. So if you ain't disciplined enough to get on that computer
It's
every
self-sufficient.
single day.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the mindset that she was talking about. If you got to make sure that you come in here and knock out this yourself. Like if you don't, you falling further behind it than getting ahead.
Right.
So if you go into the institution and you've been put into alternative schools for whatever the case may be, how long has children been fighting in school? And when did alternative school become the answer? Just like you said, most of the people that we know that went through the alternative school, they ain't finished. Cause it's like free will.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
And
mean?
they gave up on them.
You got 100% of the people over there consider themselves the gangsters
Yeah.
in the alternative school.
But then you could take one of the good ones.
Yeah, then you get one of them and mix them up with the gangsters.
That just made a mistake. We human. Not perfect. I got into a fight.
Well,
Somebody hit me and I retaliated. Now I'm over here.
Now you over here. And now you got to mix it up with these same gangsters or who consider themselves as gangsters.
now you got to adapt to
Now my drive ain't done no more.
Yeah, I'm going to fall into the,
Yeah.
most likely,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fall into the trap of whatever else is going on over here. I mean, I know a few young men that's over there at alternative school. I got a nephew that's over there, and that ain't where it's supposed to be at, my boy.
That's what I'm saying.
That ain't what's happening out over there. Cause every time I talk to my nephew, I say, so how you doing over there? He like, oh, I just try to do my work. But you got to think like, you know what I mean? You have to think like, y'all young niggas think niggas stupid.
Yep.
You walk around here with a hood on in the feet in the smoking hot sun. You mumbling, you can't hardly talk, you don't want to talk loud. Your whole environment done changed. Now you done adapted to your environment.
Now your product.
You smell like what you feel me?
Yep.
So, but you gonna hump me like you stupid, like I'm stupid.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? But this what happening. They get into these. Everybody's lumping these kids in the same thing, and then everybody turning into these same creatures that we witnessing now. What these cats out here doing all this killing? Half of these cats that catching these murder charges and gun charges probably was alternative school children, man.
And and the sad part about it is like anything else, if you throw anybody in them kind of environments, that's how life is.
It become a product.
You have to adapt to what you know what I'm saying. Like it's easy to say what you want to do, but when you in there, you have to adapt to what you got to survive. You know what I'm saying? It's just like being in anything else. So you put a good child around a bunch of bad child, lock him in a room with them. It won't be long if he gonna survive. You have to act like this. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be something like that. So I ain't never thought alternative school was like. I get it if it's warranted for the right reason, but like, I mean, now they just ain't a reason to throw them all. It's like they just throw them all in one bucket and say, "To hell with it." You know what I mean? And then the child, Like you said, like, okay, well, I'm already in school. Ain't nobody trying to teach me nothing, so you know where they're going next. They're going right to the place where they feel the most love at, which is the street.
That's just like I asked a person one time, I said, how do you teach yourself something that you don't know how to do? That's like being in a geometry class and never been in a geometry class.
You're gonna have some problems.
You gotta learn.
Yeah. So now you got these children over here on these computers having to learn stuff. Yeah, you might got these little tutorial options on them, but what if they don't learn like that?
Every child don't learn the same.
Yeah. So what if they can't learn by reading the tutorials and all that?
So then some of them gonna quit.
Yeah, they gonna give up. They gonna tap out.
Yep.
Like, man, I can't do this stupid junk. And then you gonna walk away from the scene and go and step outside, and then you gonna have to find that love from somewhere else where you ain't got no part of it.
Yeah. And that's what most of them, and that's normal. That's normal. You know what I'm saying? Behavior though.
You know what's missing? You know what's missing? Missing is that old school dedication they had to not only educate the child, but to really have compassion for the child and see what's going on with the child. Take the time to talk to the child, like dissect what's going on in the child mind. That old school stuff ain't there yet. That's why Tim asked the $1 million question. He said kids been fighting in school, getting this stuff for years and years. They suspend you, they let you come back, see if you learn a lesson. Now all of a sudden,
one shot,
it's over with.
Yeah.
That dedication ain't there no more.
Yeah.
That dedication it's not the same.
But you know what? I mean, part of it because nobody don't want to say that, but the system make money out of that. If you take the more kids you take out of school, the more money the system is gonna make off them kids. Period. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to realize the jail, the biggest money industry in this country.
Yeah.
Free
So
game.
the more you kick them out of school,
Say that again.
they're going. Jail, the biggest business in this country.
Yeah.
They got more prisons than they got schools. That ain't by accident. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all part of the system. So I kicked them out of school at an early age. Then you got, and ain't nothing worse than a young child that don't give a damn than an older child. The ones that's younger don't care. They already destined to head that way.
And they sending the kids in middle school
Yeah.
to alternative school also.
Yeah.
Everybody.
One fight.
One fight.
The lady said, I sat in the office, the lady said, I'm charging you when you going.
That's crazy.
Middle school. Now, I did research because we do research. The child, 12, 13, 14 years old, they're not even mature enough. They don't really have the mental capacity to control themselves all the way.
Right.
So, with their mindset, they're not adults yet. Sometimes we may get into something we can quicker than the child can.
Yeah.
But you talking about kids in middle school, sometimes their first reaction is to lash out and probably fight. Because their mind haven't developed all the way.
And we all went through it.
So some of the stuff going on in these school systems ain't even realistic.
Yeah.
Well, realistic, but you thinking they not gonna go there. If something happens, you think they gonna be able to control themselves every situation that come up.
We don't even do that as adults. We ain't even fully
Exactly.
do that.
Especially like when they say like the arguing and you talked about self-defense earlier. You know, that's definitely a no-brainer. Like that's what parents is teaching their kids. That's how we were taught. Somebody hit you, or you gotta defend yourself.
At all costs.
Like I ain't trying to hurt you now, but you definitely gonna hurt me. I don't want to hurt you now, but you ain't gonna hurt me now. Hey,
And by no means, I'm talking about by no means. Period.
But like I said, we lost. There's no. You gotta have old school teachers that are dedicated, meet with the parents, talking to the parents, talking to the child, really trying to see what's going on in the mind of the child.
And now it's all about the chick.
Really trying to help the child progress in school. Really trying to make it to where this child is not a statistic. First quarter, first shot, one fight, you out of there.
One fight.
You probably went through school all 11 and a half years, 12 years. You get to your, like you say, your senior year in the fight, they sending you to alternative school.
And all the hard work.
You know, some people got sent alternative school. They went, they senior year, they didn't finish school.
Yeah.
They didn't finish.
See,
I know some people seniors. Last semester in school, they got sent alternative school. They didn't finish.
right.
Wow.
So when Tim say school to prison pipeline, that's what it is. When you say
Yeah.
it's a setup.
And that's why, and I feel like that's why your kids got. And a lot of people don't want to say this no more either. You gotta have home training. The only thing saved me growing up, besides I know it's different time now, I had more home training. I learned way more in my house from my parents than I ever learned in school.
Who that is? I heard somebody snapping on their kids' school. Who that is? Read that to me.
You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta. I feel like we gotta start instilling that back in our kids at home too. Like you know, so you gotta give your kids them principles at home first. School was all to me. School was just a walk through. It was simple. I already knew the principles of making it life before I even walked in the school door. My parents taught me that. So then when I did get into them situations in school, I let my dad and them deal with them principles coming to my house and start. I let them deal with it. But you gotta start quit putting so much emphasis on these teachers to push your kids. Like that gotta start with the parents too.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta start installing that stuff in them kids at home. Like when we was growing up, like we came home, yeah, we had homework, but you know what I'm saying? My mom and dad was hands-on with me, like at home more than I was at school. I feel like more at school at home than I was at school. When I come home, like I'm finna check that homework. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you did it right. My mom was gonna be like, if it wasn't right, you ain't going out the door.
Yeah,
that was an everyday process. So when I got home, I knew what I had to do. So when I got to school, my stuff was already correct and ready when I got to school because it was checked. It was like that before I went to school.
And some days I didn't make it outside.
Yeah, a lot of days you didn't make it outside.
Couple days I couldn't go out. I couldn't go out the door. I had a lot of books, so some days I didn't make it outside. So what about the? But I wanted to ask y'all something else. We was talking about the no talking policy earlier. We also talked about how we had to put our shoulder against the wall when we was at school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We also talked about what else? We talked about how some kids say they only could talk at recess. We talked about some kids say they can't talk in the lunchroom.
No talk.
So what type of mind frame do you think the kids are looking at the school as?
What type of student do you look to produce
If they can't talk.
that can't ask questions?
Yeah. Now I agree. It should be structured.
Jeezy, what's that?
No, I mean I agree with that. But
I mean, they probably
What type of students you
what you expect?
you're trying to produce?
Yeah, that's my question.
When you got a bunch of children in here that can't really talk. Now, and then you got to think about the grade levels, like what levels that you on when you talking about talking.
well, they can talk when they ask them to talk.
Yeah,
But I'm saying like in general, they can't talk without their permission. Like they have to
raise
their hand and talk, or they tell them to talk. But there's no like real
interaction, like
talk time with your peers.
Yeah.
Cause maybe I can hear Tim say something and find out what he's saying. Because I'm not as intimidated by Tim because he's not my superior, he's my peer. So
Yeah.
I can learn from Tim and Med, but
I can't talk to the teacher.
we don't really have talk time. And the teachers are talking 80 to 90% of the time in the classroom.
Yes, I went to a little career day thing with the kids, and I went into a classroom. I don't know what the teacher's name was, but she allowed the children to, like, they were talking, but I guess she had a special move or something that she would do, and they'll be quiet. But when I walked in there, it was just freestyle. Everybody was talking to each other, doing whatever they was doing. And when she made her little gesture, it kind of like killed the whole. It's just quiet, you know what I mean? And so that's one of the exceptions, though. You know what I'm saying? That's one classroom. That ain't like all the classes. You see what I'm saying? So when we talk about like the exception to the rule, and how could you possibly? It's like saying you teaching somebody something, but they can't ask you a question.
Yeah, you ain't teaching them.
Yeah, you can't teach them if they
You
can't
ain't
ask
teach
you a question. You know what I mean? Like, and you can't. How do you familiarize yourself with your environment if you ain't able to interact
With your peers, you need that.
And then how you a teacher, nobody can't, you know what I'm saying, they can't ask questions. Your job is to educate them. That's like anything you learn. You can't teach nobody nothing. They can't ask you how you know. It's kind of like giving somebody something and showing them how to get something. If you're gonna show me how to box, I should be able to ask you any question I want to ask you about boxing.
Right.
If you ain't gonna, then you ain't teaching me.
When you was in school, man, how often were you allowed to just talk freely? I ain't talking about lunch. And I ain't talking about recess.
We really were, you know what I'm saying? But that's a part of the reason I stayed in trouble. Just being honest.
That's what I'm saying. Is that as I got older, I was like, is that really realistic for you to just each class you go to, they write on the board, no talking. Then you go to the next class, they say no talking.
And we talking about
Then you go to the next class,
like kids.
Then you go to the next class, they say no talking. So I'm like, damn, in school all the time, just be quiet all day.
You know good and well
It ain't gonna work.
there wasn't no talking going on in them classrooms when you coming up. I say now children have a little more freedom. Children like grade school, well,
Yeah, I'm saying grade school.
elementary all the way through middle school. I don't know about high school. You pretty much freestyling in high school. Now.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
pretty much walking how you want to walk, but through elementary and middle school, like they put the little red thing on the table. No talking. And turn it around green if you could talk. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, you know all about that. Man.
And tell what happened if you did talk. They made it like you was the worst kid ever.
Yeah, you disrespect the classroom.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, cause I live in the box.
No, we could just be doing. Let's say the lesson over with. The lesson over with. The teacher assign us an assignment, classwork based on the lesson. And Tim lean over and say, "Taddy, what you doing at school? Who talking?
Yeah.
Just that's how to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Tim. That's you. They write your name on the board.
Yeah.
Tim, you like, hey, all I did was ask, bro. And it be most of the time it's innocent. You trying to whisper because you don't want the teacher to hear you. They know it's innocent. And who talking? They used to give it. Then they give you They give you pages to write. I mean, we used to have to write the sentences like 100 times.
Yeah.
I was not talking class.
I remember I came here the dude told me you got pages. I said, what? You feel me? I ain't know what no pages was, man.
I ain't gonna lie, you might send me to the box.
I came about us. I was in high school, so when you hit me with the pages, I was like, what you mean? What the hell is what you talking about? You feel me? He like, give me 10 pages. Like, pages of what? You know what I mean? Like, what is you talking about? So I ain't really know that, but a lot, I do think that you used to get pulled out and in front, like you would work in the class, you get caught talking.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of.
But they ain't crazy to y'all now.
That's kind of traumatizing.
Like it's crazy, like.
Now that you're older, you look back.
You ain't.
We were being tortured in them.
You ain't say no cuss word. You ain't say nothing disrespectful.
Just open your mouth.
You just open your mouth and say, "Hey, bro, what you doing? What you doing at school?"
Who talking?
Yeah.
Paging.
And then I ain't gonna lie, I started doing pages like probably like 4th grade.
You stopped doing pages.
Miss a lady named Miss Johnson in West Gordon gave me some pages for the first time, bro. And I got it. I gave it to her. She put them in the shredder. I said never again. Every time I got rolled up, you know where I was? Right in the box. No, send me to the box. I'm not writing no more pages. I said right on up there. But yeah, that crazy, man.
Pages. I remember them pages when I was like, pages.
And don't have the right teacher. You gotta write them like you can't like you gotta write them
A
correctly.
certain way, yeah.
Oh,
Man, I didn't know.
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna hold a story I got for school for the men's conference. I'm gonna tell y'all the story because it's right on topic for that school to prison pipeline, but it's concerning talking.
Right.
And how that simple thing that I just said, how it could escalate from that to the principal office.
You sent to the principal office.
Like how they could
For one of your trap office.
no, I think that's why I think it's more, now that I look at it, it's more control, it's more power, it's more I'm the authority in this classroom. That's what I think it is mostly about, the teacher and their authority in the classroom. When we went to school, that's basically what it was. Like they wanted to say, hey, what's Tim be saying? I'm the authoritative figure in here.
Right.
But look, think about this. You don't open your mouth unless I tell you to. You didn't raise your hand and get permission to speak. Let that sink in. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
How many times you heard the teacher say, you raise your hand if you want permission to speak. In my classroom, you didn't raise your hand and get permission to speak, so therefore you keep your mouth closed.
In my class.
In my classroom.
So she used the possessive pronoun mine.
But let that sink in though.
Yeah.
Thinking about that now, how that make you feel?
Looking back at that.
Well, she tried.
Yeah.
Man, they all tried it, man.
Yeah.
It's been going on for years.
Yeah, it's my class. You shut your mouth and
Do what I say.
yeah, raise your hand if you got to speak.
And like I said, I get it's supposed to be structured, but it ain't supposed to be like, you know what I mean? You know what I want. They ain't like that. Like they try
Nah, we don't know what you want to say.
Say it.
It ain't like this. Ain't like slavery. It ain't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man,
Doing
listen.
that.
If you think about it,
Yeah, it's programmed the same way.
if you think about it, like when I think about that verse, when I play it back, like I ain't said this plenty of times.
This one right here, a straight gangster. Right? I don't know who she is, but she
What she said?
Play none of that.
What's on your IG?
Yeah, she said she used to speak when she want to. Just send me home. Huh? Yeah, you thugged out.
Yeah, you thought out in school.
Tell you, I stay getting rolled up, but I booked every time. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm gonna teach you can't go. Man, if I got these bathroom, I'm going. I actually gotta go. I'm going.
See, that's the thing. Like my mom was so goddamn. Yeah, you buck in school, my mama gonna kill you. Tell me you get home.
Mine too.
Yeah, you just gotta
You
take
can't
that.
Shit.
None of that.
She ain't played
Mama
no.
gonna kill you, and then back then, mama used to come to the school and
So, when you do that now, you going straight to Line County.
So you info call and she gotta leave work. Boy, you dead. Boy,
Oh.
I'm gonna break your neck out here. Boy.
But what made me think about that is my second oldest used to always get in trouble just for talking. So I'm like, when was he talking? Like, so I started like, was he talking like during the lesson or was it? Nah, he just talking in class to his friend. So I'm like, other grades are like, oh, he do okay. He just like to talk.
Well, most kids.
So I'm like, okay. So, you tell him, be quiet in class, he go a couple of days and get in trouble then. He just like to talk, you feel me? So like, damn, he only 6.
Let that man talk, man.
Y'all know he like to talk. Y'all gonna give him some, so now like, y'all gonna give him some talk time? Like, y'all gonna give him time to express himself? Or y'all gonna keep him on mute all day? So then the more and more I started looking at it, I started doing research. Like we gonna get some of the research out, but they said more engagement come when the children are talking to each other, not just the teacher talking to the children. Because the teachers, how it was when I was in school, the teacher do a lesson and tell you to be quiet.
Yep.
And when you're doing your work, you have to be silent. Even if it's classwork. Like he said, you couldn't talk, you couldn't engage with your friend. You couldn't help your friend out if they were struggling with number 5. You couldn't say, hey, I found on page 16. You couldn't do none of that. It had to be complete silent. If it wasn't, they write your name on the board. You get sent to the principal. So yeah, some of that stuff. So we had coming up, we definitely had to have a strong mind. Because looking back at it now, I be like, damn, we couldn't do nothing in school. Outside of recess and PE.
That's it. They didn't want you to talk when they had a movie on. Like they had like you come to the class, they had them TV rolling up. Talk during the movie, they gonna write you up.
Yeah, man, you can't do no talking with me in school.
Nah, you couldn't talk. You better not go to sleep in class.
I used to be knocked out.
Ain't no sleeping.
You turn that movie on, boy, I'm sure.
Ain't no sleeping. So Tim, what you think the answer is? Do schools like from from when we went to school, do you think the school system should be restructured on far as how it's ran? I'm talking about from the, well, I already know from the educational level and from the policies that they have in place.
Yeah, I think the way like how we've been witnessing how these children is being treated, like ain't no way you can continue. Maybe we don't understand what their plan is or what they. You feel me?
You're right. They ain't
I don't know. I don't know if I'm making excuses for them or what, but maybe we don't understand. But from the outside looking in, peace, Chris, what's happening with you, bro? On the outside looking in, like you got, like no way, like these policies is like.
School to prison pipeline, like you said.
Yeah, these policies is impossible, man. You got police at the school already. You got school human resource officers, and then you got principals. Then you got like
it's ran just like that.
It's the penitentiary, man. It's like, what else you want to say? You know what I'm saying? So, like. Think about it, man. When you got the night, when we leave out the school, get our children 8 hours a day.
Right.
If your children play any type of sports or any type of activities, that's 3 more hours. So that's 11 hours. You got 24 hours in a day. Everybody does.
Right.
So the school have our children more than we do.
Of course.
Big fat.
You know what I'm saying? So in order for our children. Now they gonna go into school and try to do what we say, right?
As I said, that's why I said that's where the disconnect is.
Yeah.
From what we teach them at home, especially as far as that zero tolerance.
Yeah, you got zero tolerance talking. You got because it's basically zero tolerance talking. If they getting put in a corner or got the right on the board, whatever they got to do. You get punished for even communicating with your classmate. You still are in a system where, so your principal is the warden,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you got what they call them? That's what they call vice principals.
Like assistant principal.
Yeah, assistant principal. That's what they call them. Assistant principals, and then you got guards.
Like having a vice president.
Yeah, like the teachers and all that. Like you got the resource officers and all that. It's just like the penitentiary, man. You got somebody constantly telling you got to walk on this side of the wall, single file line.
Especially middle school and elementary school. Mm-hmm.
Can't talk. Chris, you want to come in here and rock out on this? I know you can definitely vibrate off of that frequency.
We definitely gonna talk.
That's right.
That was unreal.
So you can't.
That's
so
unrealistic.
You go in the rec yard or you go to recess.
You get 30 minutes of that.
Yeah, so you go to rec yard or recess.
And after that, you quiet again.
You right back in quiet time. So you imagine all this. This is us outside looking back at the school systems now.
That's what it
is. We
is.
don't know what they thinking, looking out at us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what they see.
Devil, what's up? You done came in.
We saying what we see, looking out at them. Like what the world?
Yeah.
Looking in.
Did we go through?
Come on, man. Ain't nowhere in the world.
And that's what it said. We conform to we conform to it, and we were programmed.
Yeah.
We thought that
the structure is totally different.
We
now.
thought that was the way.
Yep.
The structure is totally different now because nowadays, like it's zero tolerance. Like you used to get suspended, you know
or ISS.
What is a suspendable offense now?
It ain't nothing like this. It's just straight to it.
No, I don't think it's a suspendable offense.
Yeah. What can you do? Peace, dude. What's happening, brother?
Peace, what's up, bro? You alright?
Peace,
man.
Ken.
You doing alright?
What's going on?
Yeah, man, y'all know this thing late, man. After this team, man.
Yeah, man. You know I sent you. Yeah, we been in here chopping it up, man. Yeah.
At least it's the whole that thing. What's it, bro?
Your phone breaking up. You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear. What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay, what's going on, man?
I can't call it, man. So we were talking about how, like say for instance, you behind the wall right now, and we were comparing schools to how it is in the coffin. You feel me? Where the single file line, where you got the yellow line, where you can't cross this line when you walking down the hallway, and you got you got the guards representing, you know, teachers. You got the warden representing the principals. You know what I'm saying? You got assistant warden. You feel me? So we just so we was just trying to draw a comparison.
It's going on right now, you know.
Right.
It's sad because you gotta tell a grown man to come this child right here, don't come out this box, don't come out this line.
Right.
It's repercussion, you know. I ain't talking about no child. I
Yeah.
ain't talking about no child. No matter when you walk out the doors, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Going anywhere.
You gotta walk in the single file line. Yeah. So it's crazy because now out here we were dealing with these children that that's dealing with like they call it the school to prison pipeline. Following them folks up again.
I'm thinking freezing.
No, I'm just coming Bluetooth on. I just come Bluetooth on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah, so they call it the school to prison pipeline. Well, nowadays, well, you see all the young boys that coming out here and going back in there. I think the doc had shared with us one time where they said 89% of the children that end up can't read at grade level, 90% of them end up going to prison.
Right. And you know, a lot of them come without education, you know, come with education, you know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people, you know yourself, me coming from the family that I come from,
Right,
I'm the only one ever in my life, my whole family ever been in prison, you know what I'm saying?
right,
And it's not, it was a choice that I made, you know what I'm saying? But you have people with, like you said last time we was in here, that have the two families and why they doing this, you know what I'm saying? And it just changed, man, the mentality. And then when you get here, if you ain't on your game, you're gonna be on even the more beats because you ain't caring, you giving up. That's why you see what I posted the other day. Man, you got some people locked up, man. Find out what these people at. These people out there, you know what I'm saying? Because you'll lose your insanity, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. Go mental health and everything else, you know. But those are the choices that we make in life, though, bro.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And the crazy thing about that is nowadays they making that choice so easy. Like nowadays when you going to school and the schools is like one strike and you done. So now if you get in a fight at school, you going straight to alternative school.
Right.
And then you go to alternative school. Alternative school ain't nothing. You out here on the streets again.
Yep.
And most of the people.
And guess what it's sad about the streets, bro? I mean, the schools you cut y'all, but it's sad in here with the education because just say, you know, I came in with a license, bro. Even though I got a high school diploma in New York, right? Came to school, but I'm in prison. But you have people that come to prison, and if you got a license, bro, you know what they do? They will put you all the way back to the back of the bus and talk about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years. And we're not letting you even get an education because of your time.
Right.
They were trying to get everybody in the classes and in the school that have a date or a closer date before they get to you. And it's sad because you're in the catch-22. It's supposed to be a rehabilitation, right? You see what I'm saying? That's why I say you can come in here, you can become a beast if you're not mentally stable because there's a lot of blockages that you have for education and trades and all that. It's here, but you can't get it without one piece. You got to get the GED first.
Right.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Even if you're trying to, they were not allowed to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 10, 15, 20 years and you still can't get no work.
Bro, that ain't crazy.
Right.
Man,
So with that being said,
that's a control. It's another control
when
thing.
they do decide to put you in there, look at the curriculums they got today. Like back in the day, we still 225 when you get a GED. Now they looking at what, 460 something. But then you look at all these the way that it done changed, bro. You know what I'm saying? For us to educate us as being older than compared to back then.
Right.
It's harder, you know what I'm saying? You got to make more, score more high, you got to know more, computer technology is everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why it's crazy, bro. I be trying to tell you.
Toddy, I know you got something to say. Say something, Toddy.
We was talking earlier. I was looking back at how the school system is ran. And we all talked about when we was in school, how little we can talk. I'm talking like talk time. Communicate with your peers, people in your classroom. And we talked about every class you went to, the first thing you seen on the board was no talking. If you taught in class, they made you feel like the worst child in the world.
Right.
Now what you saying could be innocent. So I started doing some research, and what made me start doing the research is my second oldest son. He was getting in trouble just for talking. So I would ask him, was he talking while the teacher was talking? Was he talking during the lesson? Like, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Oh no, he just talking in class to his friend. And I'm like, well, hell, he's a child. Like, he like 6 at this time. So I say, son, I just asked my other son, 8 years old, I say, son, can you talk anytime at school? He was like, nah, only at recess. If you at school 7 to 8 hours a day, and you don't have talk time, I was asking them, I was like, is that really realistic for a kid
That's why
to keep their mouth closed? For that, now, of course, you're talking to the teacher, ask you a question, you're going to answer a question, or if you reading out loud, you're going to talk to them. But I'm just saying, it's damn near impossible for a child that age not to say nothing. And every class you go to, everywhere you go, switching class in the line, lunch, whatever, is no talking, no talking, no talking, no talking. So I would say, even back when we went to school, we became programmed and accustomed to the way. But I don't feel like that was the right way.
Yeah.
Like, we just looking back at it 20 years later, I'm like, oh damn, we couldn't really do nothing in school. That's like, we ain't really human. Like, they made us from class to class, you gotta shut up.
8, 9 hours a day.
Right.
You know, just going through school, you can find. I mean, because you got to listen, and it's sad, it's bad because how you gonna tell a kid not to even talk when you ain't even running your mouth? You just sitting there, the kids just want to sit and watch you.
Exactly.
Watch the board. You get bored. You do not be interested in whatever you partaking in.
Right.
First of all.
Right.
So, I mean, a lot of times, bro, it's sad because the law has changed because a lot of us people don't have no mouth or no say so. Because it's just like before they implement that rule in there, it had to be brought across the board. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have nobody saying nothing about their kids,
Yep.
they're gonna do it. They're gonna push it. What made them stop beating the kids in school when we back? Back in the day, we were paddles. You used to get paddles all the time.
Right.
But now you can't even paddle a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Why people stopped that? People had a voice by putting them bruises on their kids.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if we would have had a voice before this came about, no talking period, 8, 9 hours throughout school, that's not right for a child, bro. That's a child. That's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I just thought about?
To the school.
Tim, you was saying that too. And nobody don't say nothing.
You know what I just thought about, Chris, when you said
Don't
that?
say that.
That's why a lot of these children nowadays don't have no social skills, man.
ADHD,
That's
all that
why,
stuff.
that's why children, I think, why children shut down
Easy.
And
so quick now. They ain't got no social skills. Like they can't communicate well.
Yeah, I saw
You're
you.
supposed to communicate in school. You're supposed to learn how to talk proper English and everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And like you remember back in the day when we used to go to school. I remember we used to back then. You know, they'll give us 5-10 minutes before class starts. They're talking all this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get all this shit now when they time to get to the finish. You're gonna get to the finish, but just like no talking and walking in lines and can't talk in the child when you go eat. It's like you being confined, bro. It's like you really being confined in school system, you know?
Right.
And that would make people not be interested in the work no more.
That's what.
Because you're not communicating.
That's what I'm saying.
You might not can grab what the teacher saying, but if I'm sitting right here and I say, hey, bro, what they mean by this here? And you quickly let me understand.
My food.
Then I got to better understand.
That is my period.
That's what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But you can break it down to me over here. You know, but you can't talk. So like you said again, no communication.
No communication.
Communication. Yeah.
And 80% of the time you listening to the language of your superior, which you don't speak that language yet because you a kid. So your mind ain't really, like you just said, my mind might can register what Tim's saying because we probably the same age, we in class, but the way you saying it, I didn't understand. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But we talk about the community, but they never taught us community in the classroom.
No way. It's individuality. It's straight individuality in the classroom.
Big fat.
Right, and it's just like when you go in the courtroom system, they would throw the words out here so big, well, who knows? They know. You
Right.
don't know. So when you go to ask a question, you can't be talking in the courtroom. Well, how in the world I can talk in the courtroom? I don't understand what you're talking about. How can Bishop represent me? What is he talking about?
What exactly is
You know what I'm saying? We
saying?
got
Yeah.
that voice, bro. We got to have the voices, man.
Right. That's it right there, man. So you can't really, you don't really know what be going on when folk be talking.
And they said,
Yeah, you just.
they told me, my son, one of my sons, my kid, he do very well when he come home, he reading. But when they put him on the spot, he'll freeze up. But that's cause you don't told him to shut up all day. You see what I'm saying? He ain't used to
Social
talk.
skills. He ain't
So
got
he,
social skills.
well, he freezing up when he come home. He reading with us cause we his family. You know, he reading the book out the water. He say the words. He know everything.
Right.
But you tell him, hey, I'm about to test you on this. You traveling that corner. Now he like, you got him freezing up cause he don't want to get it wrong.
Right.
But he's not comfortable talking to you
Because you don't let them.
because it's really not allowed only during that time or when you say so.
That's like your child walk right in there from school, and you know your child. You know what I'm saying? But with your child come in this in the house, and you may say what's going on there, whatever. But then that's it. They got nothing to say. They ain't been talking all day.
Right.
Crazy, man.
I'm telling you, like they don't know when to talk now.
Don't know when to talk.
Yeah.
Don't know what to say. The
Yeah.
things that I want to say, I can't say. I can't ask the people that I need to ask.
Right.
And you might be like, son, what's wrong with your son? And he has so much balls in a business, they want to say something. They have a voice, but can't say nothing. Because what? You don't get in trouble.
Yep.
Right.
But I know good and well you want to ask that teacher some questions.
But can't say nothing.
Can't say that.
That's crazy, man. That's real crazy.
That deep.
What you got, man? You got something you want to say to the OG, man?
I agree with everything he's saying. Like, we do got
Well,
stuff.
yeah, man. West Side, man.
What's happening,
What's
bro?
up, man? What's up, man? What's happening?
I can't call him. I agree with everything y'all said. You know what I mean? I don't think that's even possible for no child that young to be quiet for that long. It ain't gonna happen. Like, it's gotta be structured, but to put them on mute for that long, it ain't gonna work. It's not. It never worked. It ain't gonna work now. It ain't work when we was in school. I got in trouble for talking a lot. I stayed getting right up. I ain't gonna lie. It's impossible. You sitting across from me, I'm not gonna talk to you all day. Literally 30 minutes of recess, but we got 8 hours of school.
Say that again. You sit right across.
Sit right across.
A human being.
Can't say nothing.
What's a human being?
A human being sitting right across from me.
Oh, you.
Probably live in the same
Yeah, we probably go to the
same neighborhood, everything I say. We know each other. I'm looking at you. We just gonna look at each other, not say nothing.
Can't say nothing.
Right. It's a catch-22.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. I ain't really.
I see the thing that y'all have going on.
The men's conference.
Man, I wish I could be
Somebody
there,
just
bro.
asked me for a ticket. We was on lunch, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, on somebody's phone, son.
On somebody's phone.
That's the energy that we need, man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Not talking about just sitting here. Them brothers out there in them streets, man, and sisters and stuff, they need to be trying to grab this, man. This is not an everyday thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They walk through life every day with stress and worry what another person think about, what a person say about them in the streets, and what they, you know what I mean? They need that type of energy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, I like to be there just to see. You know what I'm saying, bro?
Don't worry about it,
We
no one.
all want to make a difference. We all want to be tight. We all want to, you know what I mean?
Who all wanna say something?
Right.
Yeah.
Damn, man, somebody got something to say. Somebody got something to say. I told the folks that dude told me to say, dude today, this morning, I already was talking about what he represent, a hood, a street, or whatever. It's like, but you represent violence, man. I don't represent no violence and nothing no crime got going on now. That's a you. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn about violence.
Right.
You know, because I know that them folks been running violence for years. All the cars, a lot of ragged ass cars and everything else. It's gonna beat everybody down the train who said it's a black man. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I know this shit, but they ain't nobody trying. That's why I say I wish I could be there to hear the voices. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe somebody can do something. And it ain't even all about, it's about, you got to grab these kids.
Yep.
You can't grab everybody, but you can grab somebody.
Hey.
Somebody gonna hit you, bro.
Hey, tell me this. I'm gonna ask you this real quick. So the conference is from 10 to 3. What time is it good enough for me to go live on Instagram with you? It's on a Saturday from 10 to 3.
Anytime.
April 1st.
Anytime. And you know why? You know why? You know why it's good? Because they're short of staff. They don't have officers overseeing us. We oversee ourselves. Like right now, we're leaving here 6 o'clock in the evening time. We back to my house all rest night. You know what I mean?
That's
That's
crazy.
why. You know what I'm saying? It's sad because it's fake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, but yeah, anytime, bro. And I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. You know what I mean? I want to be there. You know what I'm saying?
That's April 1st,
10 to
10 to 3.
Wow.
We
I
got
got my locker box on a sticky note, bro. On a sticky note.
okay.
Crazy, man.
So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna get you in there. You feel me? I might put you on the mic and all that. What are you talking about? I might have you on the mic and all that, man.
Yeah, don't put nothing past this guy.
Yeah, you don't know. I might try to pull a rabbit out the hat, man. You know that boy Matthew Loveday gonna be there too, so you'll be able to
Who
get
that?
Matthew Loveday.
Oh, yeah. Hey, man, you know what? I'm just saluting them, boy, man, because I know and you know where these brothers come from, man. You know what I'm saying? And I like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With the boy Reggie McQueen and all
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Guys, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the first boy I ever caught a charge with. You know what I mean? You know I salute this boy. I ain't never had a criminal record turned down with him. So I salute them boys for the life of things that they changed their lives, man.
Yeah.
They became better people, you know what I mean? Love that truth. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'm gonna definitely pull you in. But hopefully, you know, we'll build again before then, so we'll be able to fill you in on what's going on.
Man, what time did this show start on every day
On Sunday, 9:15. Tuesday, 8:15.
Tuesdays and Sundays, we'll be on here at 9 on Sunday and 8:15 on Tuesday.
Okay. I got it right there.
Yeah, so
8:15 Tuesdays.
yeah, 8:15 on Tuesday and 9 on Sunday.
Yeah.
I got you, bro.
Yeah.
I like to tune into, and like my my partner who was over here last time, we was over here, I told you my partner, the Foolie.
Yeah.
And the next day he came, bro, the boy embraced me, man. He said, see, now that's the type of energy and positive things that I like to hear. You know what I'm saying? I really supposed to invite him tonight, but I just found out, I know it's kind of late, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he really liked that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, well, I like that with your y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? For real, bro.
Hey man, so when we come back on Sunday, shoot, you might be our fourth leg from now on, man. We can get you up in here. We can come on in here and chop it up with you, man. Cause you gotta think. Oh, on that, like we be on YouTube and Facebook and all that.
Yeah.
So me and you just on Instagram right here, but on that screen over there, we be on YouTube and Facebook and all that.
Okay, that's what's up,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, we be all over the place. So
And I see you can share the live.
yeah, you can share.
I'm supposed to share him the live, you know what I mean?
Oh,
Now I can share it to him. That might cuss me out, man.
yeah. So
I'm gonna tune in, man. I'm gonna tune in though, cause like I said, I like the positive energy, right? I like to learn and listen to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all about me talking, but I like to listen because I've been gone so long and I need and would like to know what's going on out there. You know what I mean?
right.
With society, people, and everything, you know. So
Yes, sir.
that's why I tune in. I ain't got nothing going on this time to make sure I'm interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. You know we always enjoy having you come on, man.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for the support, man.
Yeah, man. We always like that, man.
Need that free game.
The brother, what brother name over there?
Man.
What brother name over there?
Oh yeah. What's happening, man?
What's up? I seen the last time I was on here, and somebody seen me on the podcast,
Yeah.
and it was like, they was talking good about you, man. You know where you come from. You know what I'm saying? And I salute that too, brother, because it's all about the change. It ain't all about that belt for the change, man. Being a man.
Oh yeah, man. I so appreciate it too,
I just
man.
want to let you know that, bro.
Always, man. For sure, I so appreciate it, homie.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
what's up?
Oh, hey, you remember? I don't know if you remember, goddamn, that boy Ali from the west side over there, Ali Washington
Say more, man.
and St. Morning and all them boy. But he went to school with us though. He was around our time. But he went on, that's his little brother though.
Yeah, that was, they were trying to tell me that. I heard they were trying to tell me that. It was like, man, the brother good people too, man.
Yeah,
They
man.
trying to tell me what his family was, you know?
Yeah, he to me and you, both of these cats pretty young, you feel me? But his big brother is our age, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah, so he been around for a long time. He was a little bad little son back then. Yeah, we don't blow it up now though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was heard them people telling me that, you know, you good people though, man. You know what I'm
Most
saying?
definitely.
It's good to see somebody trying to break away from old ways and try to gain knowledge, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
That's all it's about, knowledge and understanding, man.
Yes,
And
sir.
like God, like we saying self-preservation, man. Like I tell people here, bro, you don't know yourself, man. You ain't got that going on. You
Yeah.
gotta know yourself first.
Yes, sir.
And say what you will and won't allow. You know, so that's good, man.
Yes,
We gotta
sir.
reach a lot of more of them, bro.
Oh yeah.
We hope so. That's what our goal is. I got my little homie, he be on here sometime, man. He a little cat, man. He a young boy about to graduate from high school and all that. But he kind of like a little inspiration to me, man, cause he look up to me and I try to goddamn talk to him and guide him in the right direction, but he be he hopefully, you know, he'll grasp on the game, man, and run with it. You feel me?
You better.
Hey, that boy Wayne B right there too. You remember Wayne B? Barbershop Wayne B?
Yeah.
He on that. He on here right here.
Tell Wayne what up.
Okay, then.
Yeah, he
Wayne B.
Wayne
The place to
Go
be.
Wayne B, man.
B. Yeah, he on
I
here.
ain't, like I said, I ain't seen no them boys so long, you know what I mean? Man.
Yeah, that boy on there. Yeah, man, we about to get up out of here though.
Hey, man, I salute y'all, bro, man. I'm trying to tell you
Salute.
everything. I got y'all out there, man. Y'all, everything gonna be all right. We gonna
Appreciate the love.
Somebody gonna see us, man. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Somebody
sir.
gonna hear. Yeah.
I
Y'all hold it down, man.
Always blessings.
Peace.
likewise, bro.
All right, peace.
Yeah, peace, God.
Alright, y'all. I'm back on med.
Yeah.
Man, listen, this free game. Holla back.